Alright, back at it again. More delays. What was I working on? Oh yeah, cylinders. We just happen to have a pair. They look like those. That's heavy. Okay, so we got the front and the back. We're going to use these. So we're going to lube these up with some oil right here. Just put a little bit in there. All you need is a thin layer. Because the rings are going to push it up the whole length, so I'm only going about this far on my finger, that's all I'm doing. So it's just a nice thin layer all the way around is all you need. The rings are going to shove it up the whole length of the cylinder and lubricate the whole cylinder. You put more of that on there, you're just wasting it because it's going to, you have to wipe it all off anyway.
A cup of coffee, you want anything?
No, I'm good.
Alright.
Okay, so that part's handled. Lubricate up our pistons. All right. Do our wrist pin bushings over here. And the last thing is I put oil on the stubs. That way the threads will be lubricated when you put the nut on there. It makes them go on a little easier. There you go. Simple. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit of oil in the crank to lubricate things a little bit inside of that hole right there. So you got to throw a little bit of oil in there. Let's see what I got laying around here in oil. Oil. It looks like I'm all out of oil. Wonderful. Alright, we'll be back. Give me some oil. Okay, we're back. Give me a quart of new oil here, 50 weight, Maxima. Usually I got some of this stuff laying around someplace. Except for today. Okay, so you want to pour this right on top of the rod set there. Kind of work it in a little bit, make sure it's well lubed. Just a little bit more in there. There you go. So I got about a half a quart, that's what we put in. That way you got a good amount of oil stuck in there, so as soon as you start spinning the motor over, it starts lubricating everything. The oil will get over here in the cam chest side too. Gets everything well lubed. Okay. You don't want, and it'll also lubricate your pistons. Once it starts flinging around, it'll lubricate everything. So you don't want to put stuff together dry. If you wait for the oil to get into there, it'll be a while. Pistons need oil before that. Okay, so now we're going to do our rings. Use some cylinder base nuts, put you over here. Got brand new cylinder base nuts. We are not using lock washers on there. I do not use lock washers. I don't use lock wash because when I torque them, they spread apart. If I torque stuff. Okay, there's our new nuts ready to go. Okay, where's those rings at? Okay, here's our clips for retainers. Here's our new ring set. So, ringy dingy's going here like that. So there's the expanders right here. So these I take the one ring and stick it over here on the bottom. On the other side of the wrist pin. That way this overlaps the oil ring gap real quickly. And you just pull this thing across with your finger so it doesn't scratch anything. Good. You take the other one, you do it 180 across from there. So it's right here. Put it over on this side, same spot. Roll it around. And just pull it out a little bit, bring it down. Should be nice and free when you're done. You did it right. Do the same thing on the other piston. Okay, 180 is over here. Okay. You got 4 rings left. You got to figure out which ones are top, which ones are second. So the gray ones, the soft gray are the moly, and the full black ones here like this are the cast iron, are seconds. Okay, any markings go up. There's a dot that goes up. Do not wrap these rings. So that means twisting them around like we did the O-ring. Don't do that. You put them on. You hold them with your 4 fingers and you spread with your thumbs. That's how you do it. So you put the back of the ring down in the groove you want it to be. You put pressure up here, right here, and you spread with your thumbs. See the ring is in there. Just spread them out a little bit. You get on there about that far. Doesn't want to go any further. You can reach across here with your thumb and go like this across the top. Push in. Now don't bend them over like that, because if you bend them too hard, they warp them. The ring should be nice and free on the ring line. If it's not free, you bent it. If you have a bent ring, they don't seal. Okay, top ring, you look for any markings again. Don't see any markings of any kind. So if there's no markings, it doesn't matter. If you look at the ring sideways and it looks like it's all square cut, then it doesn't matter usually. Okay, same thing. Put the ring in the top ring when you want the groove. Spread it out a little bit. So I like that. Those are being very sharp on my thumbs. This one, the dome's in the way of getting in there any further, but spread it out if you can. This one doesn't want to go any further. Now, here's the expanding tool you use to go further. Boom. Once again, you want to make sure it's nice and free. So they rattle around, they're not hitting on anything. Okay, where's our O-ring gap? O-ring gaps are over here someplace. That's where they should have been. Thumb still hurts. I'm not seeing my gaps. There it is right there. Okay, so how easy you go 90 degrees over, you have one gap, then you go 180 to the other one. So you don't want your ring gaps on the thrust face or on the wrist pin side. So on the 45 is where all your gaps are at. So that one's ready to go in. Okay, this one here, second ring is this one. This one had a dot on it, right there. This time I put the dome so I got access to doing the ring instead of the other way when I didn't. Yep, went too far with that one. There we go. Okay, check the top ring out, no markings. Yeah, these are a lot stiffer, these top rings. And I didn't want to go, so just use a tool. Just gotta get past that edge right there and it goes right on. Okay, so where's our oil ring at? There it is right there. So, second ring, top ring's there, second ring's going to go on the other side, wherever it is. Right there. Okay, that one's ready to go. Okay, this is my rear piston, my front piston. This is rear cylinder. In case you don't know, your rear cylinder has exhaust cutaway on it. So that's exhaust, this is intake. That's rear piston, this is the rear piston. That's our intake cutaway. It goes on the intake side, so it goes in like that. If in doubt, look for your cap for your exhaust cutaway. Okay, so these I just put them in there by putting this side in the cylinder first, where the gap is, an angle, and just compress the top ring. And easy, just goes right in. Boom, it's in. Now the other gap's on this side, so you go over here. I went too far, I already got that ring in all the way. There you go. Okay, get the ring in there where it belongs. Second ring. Angle the piston slightly. Give you a little bit of mechanical advantage. You come over here in the high spot and just compress. Push down as you go. Use your fingernails if you need to. Try not to use screwdrivers. If you do use a screwdriver, use the flat part of the screwdriver. Like that. It should go in. There you go. Now you can use a plastic hammer to lightly tap. Not very hard. Lightly. Okay, here's our gap right here, so that means the other gap's on the other side. The angle's already angled over there, so that means this side's already in. So we just tap it around like this. Goes in on that side. And again, this is the rest of the rings over this side. It's in. You gotta make sure you're up high enough that you can put the wrist pin in the hole. Like that, it goes in. But we haven't got the gaskets on here yet, so we'll wait. Okay, that one's ready to go on, except for the gasket. We haven't done yet. Okay, exhaust cutaway is over here. Intake is here, intake could be this side. Top gap's there, that means the other gap's over there. Just gonna tap it on if you want. Just lightly tap and eventually it goes in. Now we went in too deep on this side, so you gotta come back up a little bit. This ring has to go in, this gap has to be in here first. Then you go down a little bit. So it's easier just to compress it with your fingers like this. After you get halfway around, then you can go ahead and use a tapping. Okay, our gap's here, that means this other side. The gap's right here, and there it is. That's got to go in first. Boop, it's in. Second gap's over here. It's now in. The rest of the ring is on this side. See how it's hitting hard, so just go to the other side and kind of wiggle it in. It goes in. Okay. Up a little higher so we can put our wrist pin in there. Okay. So that's easy. If you have to hit any harder than that, you're going to bend the ring. Like I said, if you bend the ring, it don't work. It'll never seal. Here's our gaskets out. Okay, here's our new gaskets here. There we go. Not using the head gaskets yet, we're using the base gaskets. Got to goop them up, so we get our gooping tool here. Use our gasket cinch. Okay, so we're going to goop up the cylinders and the cases in the gaskets. We'll do the gasket over here, cylinder over here, I mean, first. I don't really care if it's up on the spigot area, so I just push into the spigot, no big deal. Oop. Dingleberry hanging right there, we don't need. Alright, I'll go up here and do the case up on the top. So you just need a little thin layer, you don't need much. Okay, now we do the gasket. Same deal, just a thin layer, that's all you need. Just need coverage. If you put on nice and thick, it just squeezes out, makes a mess, so it doesn't help any. Okay, then you take this and lay it on the cylinder. Looks like it goes on this way. Yep. GM's gaskets fits fairly tight on the cylinders and the holes aren't very big. Most of the other brands have big ass holes everywhere, so they fit really loose, which is not good. Okay, that's done. Do the other one. Just got to line up the pattern over here. Let's see, looks like it'll be this way. Push it down, it touches, it sticks. Okay, now we can put our wristbands in. Okay, it doesn't matter if you do front or rear first, makes no difference. Pick the one you like doing. So I usually do the rear first because it gets in the way of this and it's more centered weight. If you hang it way out here, it gets a top heavy way out here, but on the sports there's not a big difference, but the big twin makes a slight difference. Okay, so rear cylinder is going to be first. This is the front one. This is the rear one over here. So obviously this is the push rod side. The valve pocket should be on this side here for going on, and it is. So this direction is installed correctly. The wrist pin's falling in, which is not helping us. So we need to have the motor spun around the other way here. So we have access. Okay. There it goes. Goes in. Just kind of let it hang there. Take your rag, put it over the hole. That way you don't lose your clip. If your clip goes in the motor, you got a problem. Okay, do not spin these way the hell out. If you do, they won't stay in very well. They might come out. You do have to hold it a little bit like this, but don't overbend it. So put the one in, whatever works easier for you. On this angle here, it's this way for me. So I'm going to lay this edge here where my thumbnail is on the piston, and you kind of roll it in. So you can't really see it, but it's pushed in there like that. And just come around and roll it in as I'm putting pressure on it. That's where it'll stay right now, so you can see what I'm doing. See how it just rolls around the circle and just goes on in as you go. So, just going to roll it around like this. Pop, you hear it pop in. Try to rotate it down deeper. Make sure you push it all the way around. Make sure it's in. And you roll it around the whole thing. It should all be in there good. You take a look on it, make sure it's even. It should be a nice thin line all the way around. If it's got a thick spot, it's not in. Okay, all that looks good. So see how easy that is to do. Take the rag out. A little bit of oil on the skirts. You only need on the thrust spaces, not the sides. The sides don't hit. They're not supposed to hit anyway. Nice good layer. Wipe off the excess. Stick it on down. You want to rotate the cylinder in this direction on this one, and the other one goes the opposite, so you're basically going like this. That way the intake manifold will be pulled in tighter on the heads and it'll line up better, easily. Not always, but easily. Okay, I got me some stainless steel AN washers here. Put them right on top of the cylinder base here. Then we take our chrome nuts. Usually the edge on one side and a nice radius top on the other. So pick the best side. Best side goes up. These are very hard to tell the difference because the chrome's so thick on them. That means they don't just go right on either, which is a problem. That's why you put a little bit of oil on the threads to help these kind of problems a little bit. Washers have a sharp side and a nice side. Nice side goes up. So these ones are going down, the other side doesn't want to. Wrench. Okay, pull it toward me. Light pressure, not too much. Come over here and run these down the rest of the way. And this is the hard one here. So you don't have to have a ratchet wrench to go fast. See? Just have to know what you're doing. See, I go up and touch my finger, go that way, and then push down with my finger. It's a hex, so it goes back in the same spot. So as long as you go in the same direction, you stop at the same point each time, it drops right back onto the hex. So you can go pretty quick. Okay, so those are all pulled down. Go over here and do it again on this side. Put a little more torque on it. I can't go quite that far. Tighten it down a little bit. Okay. That one's more or less on. I'm going to do the other cylinder. So you can see I pulled it up all the way with my hand. Okay, now let's see where we're at on this one here. Looks like we're on the right side on this one also. So make sure the valve pocket's toward the rear, because that'll be the intake on the front cylinder. Hang right there. Cover the bore again. And then we try our clip again. Like if you tweak these things way out, and then spring loaded to pop out. If you just flex it, it springs back. It doesn't do any damage. So you can get the one tang to go in there first. Once it's in a little bit, you start just walking it around. These are relatively thin, so they have low tension. So they go in fairly easy. Boom, it's in already. We'll just do our normal stuff here to make sure it's in all the way. Looks good. Looks good. You always want to look all the way around the whole thing, make sure it's in there nice and smooth and easy all the way around. If it comes out, it does a lot of damage. And same deal before, put a little oil on our skirts. A little bit on the other side. Now don't yank too hard, you pull the rings right out of the cylinder. Okay, you want to just kind of rotate the cylinder and push down together. That'll get the rings to slide a little bit. Get the, go down on the studs over there. There we go. Like I said, just want to rotate this way. You have clearance and everything, so try to take up the clearance. Okay, now you don't have to worry about dropping stuff in your motor right now, at least too much. Still got a hole over here you can drop stuff through. Okay, find a good side. They're just stiff enough they don't want to go down. There you go through the chrome. Rotate it. Light pressure. This one just doesn't want to go down all the way. So you just go like this, bring it in. Just enough pressure, won't go. Nope. Feels like it might go, but it doesn't. So you see I work my fingers here to make it work. See the finger holds it up. You come up, move it, go down with the fingers. There is no room to put a ratcheting wrench on your cylinder base nuts. As you can tell, I cut all my wrenches to make them thin so they will fit in these spots like this. The other side. And it's going to be hard all the way. Of course, we got the snout to deal with, that's why it's going to be hard. Plastic off the nut. See how the double box wrench clears the case? It goes right over the top of the offset wrench right here. That's why I use offset wrenches a lot. Just enough, doesn't want to go. Then it gets free for a little bit, like half a turn. Just say the hell with it, just go like this, it works the same way. You may think I just move my hand back and forth, but the nut's going down, so see how it's getting lower? So I'm not just moving my hand back and forth. Okay, so now, see it hits right here. See if we got on this part here, or this side here, the snout's in the way. Okay, now I go ahead and put some torque on this. So that's tight. In case you want to know how much torque it is, it's tight. That's tight. That's tight. All right, it's tight. Whew. So, take a quick look, make sure you got the pistons in correctly. It'd be a bad time to find out what's wrong, but it's better now than later. See the pocket here is for the intake. There's no pocket on the exhaust. So that way you know they're correct. It does matter. Okay, now we go over here. We rotate the motor over and we can see how much this works. Yeah, I have almost enough torque to turn the motor over. A little hard, but it does work. Okay, where's my 1¼ at? And my 1¼ socket right there. Brake bar works good for this. I mean, beating it with a hammer makes it hard to use. Okay, now if you turn the motor over backwards, the oil stays in the crank where it belongs. This breaks the rings in a little bit. So how you know it's breaking the rings in? Because it's leaving marks in the cylinders that we do this. See the ring marks? Now you see how the oil comes all the way up the top, like I told you, it self-lubricates. Looks like I used just enough oil because, see, I don't have a lot of excess oil laying up here on top of the cylinder. If you have a big large amount of oil up here, then you know you put too much on it. So you wipe off the excess so you don't foul your plug out. You just go like this a few times and gets everything all nice and lubricated. Put the piston at the very top, and that way there you keep the crap out of your motor. Everything was rotating pretty good. We're still in neutral. Alright, so that all looks pretty good. So tomorrow we're going to work on our heads. And I got to work on the primary cover a little bit. I got to glue the bushing in on here and clean it up. So that's where we're going to be for the night. It's almost 1 o'clock now, so there you go. Early night. It's just in tomorrow a little bit. Alright, at least now it starts to look like a motor. I'll be back tomorrow.